Hey everybody, it's Zach from Myshire Farm, and today, yes, we're going to talk about feed and ingredients and nutrition for your Coturnix quail. This is a very, very big question I get daily with people starting out with their Coturnix quail, and I've got a couple videos on there, but we customize our feed, and you can't exactly find the feed that you're looking for, and so a lot of people were asking what's comparable, what can I get instead, and so that's what we're going to go over today, is what do you feed your Coturnix quail? Now, I am going to break this down into two separate videos. This is going to be about the starter grower. What do you feed your chicks? And then we're going to do a separate video, part 2, on what do you feed your layers, because they are a little bit different. Now, again, I do have some videos on there already about what we feed, but I am going to break this down, and in 2023, we have done a lot of research on our Coturnix quail and different feeds, and so I'm going to give you an update on that as well. Now, I am going to step out of the way. If you want, you can take a screenshot of this and try to compare this to other places. I have done some research for you. I have looked up Tractor Supply, Chewy.com, and Rural King, and you can find very comparable things to this at all three of those locations. Now, this is a Klombach pheasant starter. That seems to be what works best for Coturnix quail. But with that being said, you're not going to find something that exactly matches this because they don't sell that. However, I did call 3 separate Tractor Supplies and asked them if they could get this feed in. The first store I called said, absolutely, you just need to order a minimum of 2 bags. I said, great. So that was a go. The second Tractor Supply I called said that they can order it in, but I have to order a minimum of 10 bags. And then the third Tractor Supply I called said that they wouldn't order it in no matter how much I wanted to buy. So it really looks, as far as Tractor Supply goes, that it really depends on your location. But this is a pheasant starter from Klombach. Now, Chewy does sell and offer Klombach feed, and something that's very, very comparable to this. I think they have a broiler starter instead of the pheasant starter, but it was very comparable. So what you want to look at is not identical analysis, but you're looking for a range, and that's what we're going to go over now. So our protein minimum is 28%. Lower down on our feed bag, it says 28 to 31%, but we're just going to go with the minimum of 28. Your range that you want to be in is between 25 and 32%. And then your fat is 3% on here for the minimum, and you want it to be between 2.5 and 3.5% for your starter growers. And then the fiber is 6% maximum, and you want it to be between 5 and 7%. And then your calcium, I'm going to switch over here. It says minimum 1, maximum 1.5, and you want to be between 1 and 2%. So it doesn't have to identically match, but you do want it to be in those ranges for your starter grower. The rest of it is kind of what you want it to be at. There's not really a big range there. But what I did find in my research on those other stores and locations and where you can buy it is those matched up pretty well. It was the ones that I just mentioned that were kind of a little off. Now, we did do a lot of research this year, and we came up with 2 different tips and tricks to help have healthy, happy chicks and help them grow as big as they can. And the first one is, in 2023, we have fed our chicks pellets, mini pellets, mesh, crumble, all of it. And it seems as though that the crumbles are what help them digest the best. The mini pellets worked okay, but it didn't seem like they ate as much. They definitely did not get as large, and their feathers were not as vibrant. And I don't have the information on why that is. The pellets were obviously too big for them, and the mesh, it just didn't seem to work well with them. So the crumble is absolutely what you're looking for. So again, with this analysis, there is ranges that you can look for, but you definitely want a crumble. And then the next research that we did was when can we get them off this feed and onto a layer feed? So obviously your layer feed is going to be less expensive than your starter grower because you're paying for the protein, right? And so the starter grower is significantly higher than the layer feed. So we were trying to find out when can we switch over without affecting the health or the weight of the Coturnix quail. And we started at 3 weeks old. So we switched them over from 3 weeks old, 4 weeks old, 5 weeks old, and we kept going up. What we found is that ideally you really do not want to switch off a starter grower feed until they are a minimum of 8 weeks old. So once they hit 8 weeks old exactly, you can start transitioning them over to a layer feed, and there really isn't a big difference. So I know a lot of people feed them up to 10 weeks old on starter grower, and that's completely fine. But you can start switching them off at 8 weeks old, and there's not a difference in weight or in size or in demeanor or anything like that. So you really want to keep them on this until 8 weeks old. And I thought, we did a lot of research, and there's a lot of interesting information in that. So I hope that this helps. Hopefully you were able to take a screenshot, take this to your local feed mill, and try to say, this is what I need. But it is a Klombach pheasant starter. You can also use a turkey starter. That works great. Or a broiler starter. That works great as well. And you definitely just want a high protein and a crumble. And then obviously the ranges that we talked about. But I was able to find something in these ranges at Rural King, Tractor Supply, and Chewy.com. And obviously any local feed store that you have is going to be more than happy to help you on your feeding adventure. So I hope that helped. If you have any questions, feel free to ask below. I try to look at the comments every day and respond. And remember, every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we go live for a live question and answer. So if you have any questions on this, you're more than welcome to join us on our question and answer live, and we can help you there as well. So thanks for watching. Hope this helps, and stay tuned for the next video about the layer feed. Thanks, and have a great day, everybody.